Yo, let's go! MFL Total Access, week 2. Feels like we went off for a month, but it wasn't that long. It's been 7 days, I guess. And yeah, we're back for week 2. Hopefully, we have more than 5 viewers, and they stuck it out after our week 1. There's a decent amount of viewers, so thanks for tuning in, folks.
No, we got a few good comments. I got to say, Manu's comment made me blush when I read it.
That was he even put the heart and everything. I was like, that's my dog.
Oh, you read the comments?
Yeah, of course I do.
But yeah, honestly, like it seems like nothing, and like we like obviously, but any comment we get like really makes me happy. Even if it's
Yeah.
just like, even if it's just like a thumbs up, like a thumbs up comment. Like a lot of people like the video, but if you put the thumbs up in a comment, like it'll make me a lot happier.
And so it makes it something personal about it.
Yeah. So if you guys want me to be happy, keep commenting, and then we'll probably talk about you even more. But yeah, it was a good for sure. Let's try to make this one even better. A lot to unpack this week.
Yes.
Um, First off, Brassard and Laval. Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's a very special episode. This episode, especially for you, because it's the last one without us talking about Brassard and Laval.
Oh, I mean, next week we have to talk about Brossard.
Yeah, I know Laval doesn't bother you as much,
Yeah, no, it's just Brossard.
but yeah, so those registrations are done, but we still have space for individual players, maybe small groups of 2 to 3, depending on the league, in Laval, Montreal, and Brossard. So if you're still looking to join a team, mostly beginner to intermediate divisions, or if you want to join a second team, regardless of location, because Montreal doesn't interfere with Brossard or Laval, let the league know and we'll hook you up. We still got a few spots left, so it's not too late to join and be part of this memorable spring season. Spring season that we have the most teams total ever. I don't want to say n'importe quoi. Let me find this info. So last fall, with the introduction of Laval, we had the most teams ever, and we were at. Where am I? Just 1 second.
Wait, Laval and Brossard, they can conflict, right?
Laval and Brossard do conflict.
Oh, right, but is there a chance if somebody has a game in the a late first slot they could
Yeah,
play the
yeah.
same?
It actually happened. Like Avery did it a few times last year, where he played Brossard and Laval on the same day, and like
Yeah,
JC and Nico, there was a week that they played in Brossard and King Laval. It's like if you play at 9:30 at one location, you could make the 12:30 game afterwards, right?
hey, MFL for life, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, like our last fall, we had an all-time high of 76 teams across all leagues, and we shattered that this year with 89 total teams across all 3 leagues. We have 63 alone in Montreal, which is the all-time high for Montreal only, 63 total teams, and you add to that 26 teams across Laval and Brossard. So even our suburbs are growing.
That's crazy. I was talking with, I think it was JF, and he was saying like there's like 14 teams in Brossard this year.
Bro, there's 16. I don't know where they popped out from.
Damn, holy
We,
cow,
we,
that's
we
crazy.
had 11 last fall. We did have 13 last spring, so just 3 more than last spring. But still, like it's pretty good growth for Brossard. That's been, I'd say, between the 10 to 12 mark for on average for a few seasons now. So this 16 might be the breakthrough through for Brossard.
So 16 teams, 4 divisions, right? Because there can only be 4 teams a division.
No, we actually got 2 divisions: 6 in D1 and 10 in D2.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Besides that, what else do I want to mention? Yeah, keep commenting. Let us know if you want to join another team, any league. Oh yeah, also special shout out to Chrissy. She got me some really cute books for my daughter for me to read to her. One was actually a football book, so I actually read it like 3 times to myself. It's pretty cool. I can't wait for her to actually like understand and so I can read it to her. But yeah, so I appreciate that. Very thoughtful, but very on point with the football too.
You can never start too early, man.
Yeah,
Just have her
I'm
gripping a
telling you,
little
she's
football and then
gonna
a big
start
one.
crawling next week. I can feel it.
Bro, there you go. Bro, it's a matter of days before she has the flag belt on.
Uh, any other announcements want to talk about? Oh yeah, unfortunate injury to Curran this past weekend. I think you saw it firsthand. We wish him well. I think he's getting operated this week if it's not already done. So at least that box is checked and he can start his rehab as soon as possible. Wish you a speedy recovery, man. Injuries really, really, really suck. We all like to be on the football field, and yeah, hope get well soon.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. I had like I was off, so I had like a good view of it, and it was just it was like yeah, it was just really unfortunate. He cut back, and he was in a tremendous amount of pain. So definitely praying for him, and hopefully he gets better. He seemed to be a bit better after he was because the ambulance came after he was carted back to the ambulance. But I gotta give like a shout out to it was Chrissy was there, Jordana was there, Kevin gave his ice, and like the you could really tell the MFL family vibe. Like everybody came to help him out.
We delayed
The
the
other
games
team.
for it. I heard the refs did a really good job swapping out assignments to make sure that everything gets done within a reasonable time, and also like respecting the injury and all that. Um, did the game finish? Like, did the game continue afterwards?
I can't. Well, I wasn't that focused, but I'm pretty sure. No, It was like there wasn't much time. There was like a minute to go. That's why it made it even more unfortunate. But yeah, Curran, one of the Morno guys in MFL, very likable guy. So unfortunate to happen
The
to
what guy?
anyone. Sorry,
You said the Morno guy?
more known guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
especially when you pronounce his name right, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Curran, my boy. But no, obviously, unfortunate to happen to anybody, especially him. Glad that he has his surgery day scheduled, so hopefully he'll be back soon. But I really, was touched at how quickly everybody acted. Ambulance came fairly quickly. And yeah, definitely, you could felt the family vibe of MFL. So hopefully he gets better soon. And yeah, praying for our boy.
Ambulance came pretty quickly. That means no.
It honestly it came within 5 minutes. Like Chrissy couldn't believe it. We were talking, and I was like, "Wow, you guys came quick." She says, "No, the ambulance came quick," and it was clutch that Kevin had ice there. Jordana brought it over, and so I think they did like the best they could.
Like I remember when mine happened. I don't remember, but I stayed at the park the whole day before they got there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, bro, I had your sleeping bag ready, and you were there the next morning. Yeah, that was long.
All right. So, what division do you want to get into first?
Let's go. Let's go Div 5.
Div five.
There was something else I was going to say, but I completely forgot. I may or may not remember.
Okay. If you remember, let me know. Regarding
Yeah,
like the things we are talking about before the show, or
yeah, I should have wrote it down probably.
okay. Did you see any of the five games besides that one? Do you want to go into the Mimosa Crew dart throwers and smokers game? Like what you saw of it? Start off pretty well
Uh,
for current 37 bomb to Barat.
Yeah, it was honestly like I didn't well, I think I started watching in the second half. But I believe Dart Throwers now did they win their first game? I think they won their first game fairly
Yeah,
convincing.
dart throwers are sitting comfortably atop the division right now. 2-0 against big wins against big assets and the Mimosa Crew. I know it's very, very, very early, but they may be one of the teams to beat.
Look, 63 points in your first two games is pretty impressive. That's like, what 31 and a half a game, especially for D5. That's pretty good. And this team just looks good on both sides of the ball, right? They have a plus minus differential of 43 already. I think, like you said, Pick Sixers may challenge them. Phoenix, we know they have some veterans there, and yeah, Slicks are. I'll talk about the Slicks game afterwards, but they look like they could be one of the teams to beat dart throwers, and they were just full out offense. Terry, it was impressive to see, especially in Div. They didn't look like a Div 5 team, especially not a Div 5 offense. So it was yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, nice stuff. Let's see if they can keep it up. You want to speak about Slicks?
Yes, Slicks Wolverines. It was our boy throwing for Nick Kluche throwing for Wolverines.
Yeah, I mean, it can
Uh,
only go up from here, right?
Yeah, well, only for, exactly 100%, but the completion percentage not that bad, like 17 of 34. But look, Jay, this is one of maybe his first game ever at quarterback, and you don't want to be playing a team like Slicks, right? They were just everywhere on defense. Peratt, really good game on offense with two touchdowns, but also everywhere on defense. Guillaume had a really solid game at quarterback, 14 of 21, the four touchdowns, only one pick. I just think that Slicks are going to be one of the top teams, so it's a difficult matchup for Wolverines. I do think they could still be fairly competitive. I just think it was one of the matchups where you have a team that's the top tier and a team that maybe middle bottom tier facing against each other. But no, Slicks look Looked like
Well,
they're going to be
it's
very
tough to
strong.
it's tough to place Wolverines in a certain tier right now when Klutse only
Mhm.
played one game so far, right? Like, you have this rematch mid-season and end of the season, and I'm sure he doesn't go 0 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, right? And I say this story very, very often to a lot of new quarterbacks, and I swear I'm not making it up. And just to make sure that I didn't misremember it, I just want to check it up now on my phone. I threw 6 interceptions my first ever game as a quarterback in the MFL. Um, so not to say I'm anything great right now, but I don't average that anymore, at least.
It's 5.5 now.
Yeah, I dropped it a little bit. Sometimes, some seasons I go under 5. Um, but yeah, looking at those stats, I actually had 17 completions as well in that game. Ironically,
Oh.
125 yards. I did have 2 touchdowns, but six picks, and we got 55 points scored on us. Uh, So there's really, really, really nothing to worry about, and you better not get discouraged. Nick Klutse has a bunch of flag experience under his belt. He's playing on great teams that had a lot of success, so I'm sure he knows what he has to do to get better. He can always reach out to us for any mediocre advice. But he was also playing against Slicks, who are one of the juggernauts of the division, right? They lost in the finals last fall. They have a similar-ish team. They have their all stars on that team. So um, I wasn't expecting Wolverine to win this game, but like I said, play again mid-season, play again at the end of the season, and it should be more of a fight.
100%. Like we talked about week one, well, it was week one for them, right? Because they hadn't played in week one. It's basically a scratch, right? You don't really count it. It's like preseason, and especially if you're talking about a team like Wolverines, where it's Nico's first time throwing. You said it well. Hang your heads up high. It wasn't pretty, but I think it's only like you said, gonna go up from here.
Yeah. Any other D5 games you saw?
I didn't see any of them. But Phoenix looking good, putting up 34 points. Oh, sorry, that's incorrect. Thank you for scrolling. Wong Dynasty, MTL Cessnas, not Svetsnas, Cessnas. I think I pronounced it correctly. So I was watching a Div 1 game at this time, and it was on the field to my left. And there was quite a few interceptions in this game. There was four. And last play of the game, I turned my head and the ball's in the air, and I didn't know it was the last play of the game. It was a bomb from Jean Philippe Cartier to Jaden Maccabe, 30-yard touchdown, Hail Mary. I don't know if it was a double quarterback because when I turned around, the ball was in the air, but it was a perfect pass. He, like, honestly, he could have sat on his knees and caught the ball. Like, he was just wide open. He could have waved for the fair catch. And it just seemed like a perfect executed play for MTL. And what a way for them to kick off their season. They're winning on a long bomb. It was 6-6. Game just about to go to overtime, and they get a 30-yard bomb for the win.
Wow, and no one was around?
There was a few defenders for one dynasty, but they seemed to be like in front, and the ball was just perfect by Jean-Philippe. It just went over them, and it was right place, right time
And
for
literally last play.
MTL, and it
What
was
a way to save overtime, eh?
exactly, yeah. You usually look forward to overtime. You love overtime, but yeah, Cessna said not so fast, and yeah, it was really the vibe of the game seemed to be really good. Defensive affair, obviously, but offense clutched up when needed to most.
Yeah, and you spoke about Phoenix. I think they were down early in this game. I remember checking the score. Yeah, okay, no, they were just down 6-0, and then it was all Phoenix from there. Nick Cousset, not bad quarterback season so far, eh?
11 of 18, 73 yards, only one pick, clean game, three TDs.
You know what would be a good storyline?
Tell me.
How many times has Phoenix been the severe favorite in this Division 5? And Kevin Cousset remained at the starting quarterback in Division 5, although he was playing like Division 2, or at least competing in Division 3, and was never able to pull it off. And imagine Nick Cousset comes in his first ever season as a full-time quarterback, and he gets the job done.
That would be a little hard for Kevin. But look, maybe it's because they were missing Kevin at receiver. Right now that they have Kevin at receiver, anybody can throw and get touchdowns on that team.
Do you think Dad would be proud for son, or
Extremely jealous.
I thought so too.
Very vengeful, very vengeful.
It's probably going to be in the finals. You'll see he'll bat the ball out of the mid.
100, yes, throw me a stop and go, throw me a stop and go. Wait, my bad. But
uh,
all kidding aside, Nick Cousy has been good. And I think his shoulder was hurting him a little bit because we had our game in D3 and he was like, he didn't want to throw. So hopefully he puts a little ice pack on it.
oh, come on now, he's so young. You can't start complaining about stuff like this.
But it's a Cousy. What are you going to do?
Big win by Big Booties. I didn't listen to Matt and Gold's live yet, that they did on Sunday night. Just letting you know it's in French. I'm sure you've missed them, but I'm sure they covered the improbable game there.
They must have. Yeah, it was a pretty close game. Kayla doing a thing, 7 catches, 50 yards. Max with 4 sacks.
Big comeback
Um,
there.
yeah, but I honestly I think like in this game I would say Improbab covered the spread.
You would have said the spread was how much?
I probably would have said Big Booty's 12.5.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
I
are you so low on improbable?
no, I think I'm just high on Big Booties. Or he's getting better as a quarterback. Max should not be playing in this division at all.
Poor
Kayla,
guy giving rushers
I know for real.
nightmares.
Right, he's rushing in D1 very well. Not now, but he was rushing in D1 and now rushing in D5. So not easy for Matt to play against. But yeah, Jorge's getting better every game. Keila does her thing. Always going to be that number one receiver. This is a really good team from top to bottom. I think it's just more praise for Big Booties than dislike for Improbab.
Jorge throwing 41 passes in this game. I think he's managing the offense. That means, right? He's not going looking for that long bomb. He's like taking his time. He's being patient, taking what the defense is giving him. Although I did not see the game at all, so I'm speaking out of my ass. But just based on that 41 attempts, that's what I would assume. Pretty good ball distribution. Obviously, Kayla is wide receiver one. But like, look, a bunch of players with at least three receptions here. That's great, getting everyone involved, keeping everyone happy, and winning a close game, right? So, what more could you ask for? Just keep it up. Maybe just limit the turnovers. That's maybe something we could ask for.
Yeah, when you throw three interceptions and win the game by 8, it's I guess credit to their defense and
Yeah,
how they were able
maybe
to
they
get
went
the
off
ball
the
back.
receiver's hands also, and they weren't his fault. So,
Never know.
all right, what division would you like to go to next?
Let's go Div 3.
So, Division Three.
Let's get it.
Do you see the MFL screen?
Yeah, it's big booties improbable.
All right, go to Division Three.
A lot of good games in Div 3 this week.
Action Squad Thunder Buddies, was that one of them?
That was one of them.
You guys gave Goldrick a little bit of a hard time, I see.
Defense played great. We got our boy JC as a sub, which was pretty cool. And yeah, honestly, Nick Baby Kosei was everywhere in this game. He was, batting balls down, getting a football tip towards him. He had a sick third interception that like he was even shocked he caught it. Just it was like gunned to him, and he put his hands up to kind of block it, and somehow he caught it.
Goldrick gunned the
Um,
ball?
yeah, gunned it to him, and like Kosei just caught it out of midair, and yeah, he was honestly he was MVP. Him and Matt were MVPs.
And who tipped the ball to Kusei on the pick?
I think it was Ben. Ben Mallet tipped it, and then
Nice.
Big Kusi was there to clean up the garbage.
What did you do in this game?
I called defense, and that's about it.
Bunch of donuts across the stat sheet.
Look, hey, I'll take the win over the stats any day.
Yeah. Oh
But yeah, a
shit.
bunch of
Jamaica was
donuts.
all over Matt. What the hell, man? 5 sacks. That was Matt like doing it on purpose, or
It's funny because he avoided Shamika a few times, but second half she was like, no, I'm not gonna have any of this. He would try to move around, and she was like, no nonsense, straight line, and yeah, she was getting better of Matt most of the time.
still rushed for positive yardage, which is super impressive because he must have like minus at least a good chunk of negative yardage in there.
It's almost like he carried the ball like 28 times. It's weird. Like he got sacked a bunch and he got some yards.
Yeah. Any
But
tips for Action Squad going forward?
they had a few drops in this game, uncharacteristic of them. Goldrick did his thing, tried to distribute the ball. Um, I just maybe mix it up on offense a little bit, but like I said, I'm not too worried because they did have a few drops that don't really happen. It was a decent start for them, but kind of the second half the wheels kind of fell off and they derailed.
Maybe got to use Justin a little more here.
Yeah, that is true. He best player, guy that plays D1 too. You got to look him almost force feed him the ball. You're right. Like he's got
Yeah.
to have like 6 7 targets a game, and then the more you target him, the better chance you have of scoring. So
Yeah. And did you see any of the Hog Riders games?
I did not two tough games for them.
Yeah, I spoke to them and offered them a little bit of help. Told them to get like a Marvin on their team or something, or maybe like a Dave Daou at quarterback. Someone just like help them a little bit, learn the game a bit more. But they said thanks, but no thanks. They said we're learning. We don't mind losing. We're gonna get better. We want to stick with our guys, and we're gonna fight through this. So mad respect to that.
Bro, that's
Great
mad respect.
attitude, and that's the MFL's about. Look, they scored 0 points in their first game. They scored 18 in the second one. They said they're figuring things out. It's not going to be easy, but with Trench Babies, fat players, Nomad, maybe that could be a game where they could pull up the upset. But as long as they're having fun, they're in good spirits, they're in a good mood. That's what's most important.
100%. Look, they improved from scoring 8 points, then zero, and then 18, right? So that's three TDs in their third game.
Yeah,
And
here's
Action Squad being a pretty good team and veteran team as well.
yeah. Did you see Witching Hour Loud?
I did not, but I was surprised at how high scoring it was.
Tell me about it. It's funny. Oh man, I know you run the league and everything, but all the complaints usually come through me, right? So you don't get to see them firsthand unless I talk to you about them. Following this game, we had some complaints saying that Witching Hour were a D2 team and Loud were a D4 team. And I'm like, my guy, it was a 6 point game. How could it be a two division difference?
They
I'm like,
seem to be in pretty good spots right now.
yeah. I'm like, not only that, Loud beat Tropic Thunder, I believe, week 1 by 6 points. I'm like, okay, so then Tropic Thunder, we got to put them in D5, right? That's what it means. Uh, I'm like, you can't ask for any better than a 6 point game. Come on now. Oh yeah, and they also mentioned that there were a bunch of drops in this game from Laod. They dropped 2 touchdown passes. So I'm like, you literally could have won the game had you caught those 2 touchdown drops, but you're a D4 team and you just lost to a D2 team. Make it make sense, William. Make it make sense. I'll
Um,
quote you some of the complaints so you can respond.
Brother, I don't think it makes much sense. Look, if you have a team with Dave St. Jean and Rochette on the same team, whether one's throwing, whether they're throwing with their left hand, right hand, it's just not a D4 team. They got caliber there. And look, Witching Hour, who just won the championship right in Div 4, and one of the top squads in Div 3.
Yeah. I
Like you
think
just
this is
mentioned,
I think this is the closest Witching Hour game that they played in their MFL careers. I don't think they ever had a 6 point game in the entirety of their season last year. So Laos literally gave them the biggest run for their money. Dave St. Jean threw, forget about the 2 touchdown drops. Dave St. Jean threw 4 picks in this game. There were 5 total interceptions thrown by Laod, and they still only gave up 12 points. So maybe you have D4 quarterbacks, but your defense is like almost D1. If you're giving 5 short fields or 5 turnovers and you give up 12 points, like, isn't that crazy?
but MFL boggles my mind, Terry. How could one team throw five interception, the other throw zero, and it ends up being a 6 point game? Like to me, that doesn't make any sense.
And then you see games where like there's 100 points scored.
Bro, the games must be 4 hours long. Like I just don't understand how this stuff
But
makes
this one's
sense.
probably like 2 minutes long, right?
Yeah. This was a bit of a shorter game. Like I guess it's fourth down stops. Well, no. Laos did have 5 sacks. I believe Saint Jean had four, and I believe the other Saint Jean had one. So yeah, a total of 5 sacks by the Saint Jeans.
Yeah, crazy
That
stuff.
helps.
Did you see any of this game?
The Hidden University Iron Trollers.
Yeah,
No, it was actually at 6 o'clock. I did not.
Saturday Night Lights.
It's you, yeah. It's starting like, but our boy James Kyler Murray himself, 14 to 15, 162 yards.
Not much running for Kyler.
No, he's a pocket passer.
Before we get into it, more importantly, because we also spoke about Witching Hour right now, um, there's the team names, but I think the logos are more frustrating because when you look at the teams from the cell phone, the mobile app, you don't see the name, you only see the logo. So as much as I love the MFL logo and I could have it as wallpaper everywhere in my bedroom, I want to see your actual team logos. Captains, do better. Put that logo up, and if you don't have one, Will's gonna put one for you. And I don't know if you're aware, but I'll go show you the one he put for his own team. And trust me, you don't want Will taking care of your logo right now because it's gonna look like something like this.
But Terry, weren't you impressed that I put the logo up myself?
I have no idea how you're able to do that.
Like all kidding aside,
John did it for you, right?
I wish so. I wish so.
Do you guys want this type of logo?
Bro, pins up, bro. It's a literally, it's a Finn excited to play football. He's like, let's get it.
Where's the fin? You have to see his fin that's up.
Yeah, no, that just you know it's there, bro. It's all about here.
Anyway, all that to say that teams that don't have logos, put the logos on the freaking website. It's very easy. You go to my profile, and you click on the captain. Look, if William could do it, you can do it. And if you're unsure, ask William. He'll figure it out for you.
100%. And also, isn't the somewhat owner of the league on one of these teams?
Yeah, you're playing on one of these teams?
No, 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 John. I respect. No, I mean it's a little ridiculous that John thinks he's cool. He has a mohawk, but he can't put a logo up on his own profile.
Well, tell him
That's a little
that.
bit ridiculous.
And tell your boy Kareem, he's the captain of Him U. So let
Yeah,
your boy Kareem know how
preach.
to do it. Oh yeah, so let's talk about the game. Ironically, Him University is like, James, first time quarterback, don't know if he's gonna be good. Let's play Div 4. Like, bro, you guys have like 3 Division 1 players. Like, you're definitely playing at least Div 3. But it might be tough, this, that. Almost a perfect game for James Langshaw at the quarterback position. Like, he didn't even use his legs. Like, if you told me James was gonna play quarterback, I would say, okay, he'll adjust, he'll get better. But the one thing that he could rely on is his legs. Like, if shit hits the fan and he's throwing picks and he doesn't know what to do, just run every second play. He doesn't even need to do that so far. So imagine when he unlocks that Kyler Murray dual threatness out of him, and maybe he's Kyler Murray's other half, the throwing part of it.
No, I'd say he's a bit better than Kyler Murray's other half. His throwing ability. But no, we want to do that pocket passer, and he's showing it in this game. Always throwing a nice ball. We've played a bunch at the park when when we were babies and stuff like that. But showing that he's capable and has the team around him to do it. Right, it's going to be a good offense, a good defense. They have one loss in the season to a good team, but the stats in this game are very impressive by him University.
It's how many guys have you heard? I throw at the park often and I'm a good quarterback, and then they play an MFL game or an organized game, whether it's high school, whatever, another league, and they go over 5. Like
100%.
it's not the same thing. I was speaking with your boy Kareem, and he was telling me like I wasn't expecting James to be this good at all. Like it's like this other guy we both know, William Power, who barely ever played quarterback. It was just a receiver his whole life. You throw him in at the quarterback position, he's freaking balling out of nowhere. Like what the hell? These guys are naturals.
You gotta have good receivers around you.
And this is not to say that Iron Trollers aren't like to me. I think you mentioned Drama Club being one of the top teams. That on paper before the season started, I had Iron Trollers I think number 1 or not far to number 1 on my power rankings with 2 Division 1 players of their own in Josh and Max, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that long ago that John was throwing in Division 1 either.
That's the thing. Is experience, right? And then you have Leslie. I assume Leslie next to snapper, a great snapper who snapped in Div 1 before too. Yeah, a little bit surprised, holding Josh and Rosenfeld to a total of 38 yards. That's strong defense by him.
Yeah, yeah. Surprising that they didn't get a single turnover on James with those studs.
They had two and a 2 point conversion. That's Yes, that are you a little bit worried about Iron Trollers? Considering that they've been in the league for a while, or you think it's like Kim University is going to be one of the top teams, and it's
No,
still
I
early
definitely
for
think
Iron
Kim
Trollers?
University going to the top teams. I'd be shocked if they lose another game, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. I'm not too worried about Iron Trollers. They do have a tough matchup against Switching Hour this week. Um, yeah. What do you
Oh,
think?
and we do. Sorry to cut you off. I usually don't do that, but we last week did we talk about how many teams make the playoffs, or we didn't know, eh?
I think we, I think when we recorded, we did not know, but the email was sent, and we do know now, and the red line is there in the standings.
Perfect. Yeah, that's so Elite Eight, right? When it comes to Div 3.
And make sure you read this section of the rule book to not get any surprises at the end of the season, because to know if you're in or not.
Yeah, Lord knows that's a must read.
You can ask your boy Delos.
Preach.
I don't know why he's picking on you so much these days. What a
I know
bugger.
what a bugger, eh? It actually makes me lie. I'd never go on Facebook and they see JF tagged you. JF tagged you. I'm like, bruh,
Um,
bro, good guy.
what division you want to go to next?
Let's go Div 1 to get it over with.
Okay, so honestly, there was some good in this game for you. I was following the play-by-play, and you guys were up 14 nothing. And
We
I'm like,
were.
holy smokes! Like up 14 nothing. You guys are flexing your championship muscles. Everything's going well. I think you didn't have like an incompletion at that point, and then when it rains, it pours, man.
Who does it ever? And it was raining.
I was waiting throughout the game.
Well, not that, no, not that much. It was drizzling.
I would think you'd have the advantage if in a rainy game over Steve. No.
Well, our hands are about the same size, so no, the C played a very good game.
You know what they say when you have big hands, eh?
Jerry.
You have big gloves. Where do you think I was going with that, William?
I don't know. I had a feeling you were going to say that, to be honest.
So yeah, you guys were up 14-0. You got hit the 2-point convert on your second touchdown. Then not only do Outlaws march the field, score, get the 2-point as well. Explain to me what happened on the safety.
It was a
It was
huge
not Max
play.
rushing.
No, it was not max rushing. It was Khalil. I tried to sell it. Like I kind of went like forward half a yard. You know, when you do your thing as a quarterback. Uh, oh, he wasn't buying it, so it was a good call by him. But yeah, first he wasn't there, second he wasn't there, and you know sometimes against rushes you could go to your third read and fourth, but Khalil just came in like a bull. I didn't really see much over his arms,
Why
and
didn't
he
you get
just
the
made a
ball
really nice
out?
play. I tried to buy more time, I couldn't. I made a bad business decision, and I tried to run around him, and
Was
I
it 10
couldn't.
hooks?
Maybe, but that was really like that was. Of course, that's only like 2 points at the end of the day, and
Yes,
that,
and
but
turning point.
it is because it gives them 2 points, and it's a stop right at that point. We had scored two drives of two drives, and they get bullets for the second half. So that was probably like the play of the game if you talk about turning
Look,
points.
I won't say it always is the case, but safety has the potential to be a bigger impact play than an interception. Because
Even then a pick six, right?
yeah, arguably even in
Like
a pick six. Yeah,
if you get a safety and score the next play, that's 8 points.
yeah, and look, they made it a 10-point play because they got the safety, they scored, and they got the 2-point convert. So
Exactly.
you took the snap up four, you got the ball back down four.
Talk about a swing.
Sorry, you took the snap up six.
Up six. Yeah,
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 you took the
six,
snap up
exactly.
six, and then you became down four. So like what the hell happened?
It was huge. That was a huge play. And like I said, it's about um turnovers are nice, but it's about capitalizing off those turnovers, right? Like how many times have we talked about like, oh, if you throw a pick but they don't score, it balances out. But this all lost team was very good on both sides of the ball, and like you said, they punched it in, so they made the turnover count.
Yeah, and Steve kept the ball clean, no turnovers. Well, he got a few turnover on downs early on, but no interceptions there. Your defense was able to disrupt him, even though you had James. You had you guys were full roster today that day, right?
Everyone but Mace, we were not at 9, and usually we're used to being like 5.5. So this was like we had
How
like,
were the rotations?
oh yeah, they were nuts. It was like you go in, and like I go off, and it was like at one point we had 7 guys, one point we had 5. So it
Okay.
was
Why did you guys get the ninth guy there for that game if you were already like practically full roster?
That's a great question. Well, hey, look, the veteran and one face of the league, Demario was back, so we're not going to say it's notable our boy Demario. So he played in this game, and it was good to have him.
He didn't touch the ball in offense?
He didn't play offense. I said, you know, you could come in. He's like, I'm a team guy. I just want to win. I'm like, well, we have a good chance of winning when you're on the field, but
Yeah, I would think so. Literally throw a
yeah,
1 yard hook and you'll juke everyone.
well, there you go. But you know, he wasn't part of the team the last 2 years, so I guess he wanted to ease into it. But he's a guy we're going to look to get involved in the offense for sure.
So is James a full timer now? Like he's there every week?
We're gonna look to at least get him to 5 games, but whenever he can play, he's gonna play. I predict he makes about 6 games.
Okay. So what do you guys do if 10 guys show up?
10 guys show up. We tell Chris to not show up because he wasn't
Load
supposed to play this
management?
season, and that's exactly load management.
What?
We tell Chris, yeah, exactly load management. He's his bones are aching, so we say just play the 5 games, and we'll save you for playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. Through 2 games, he has what, like almost 20 catches?
I don't understand. It's like I don't try and force feed him the ball. Like I look at the stats after the game, I'm like that's a little bit like I don't get it.
He's he's on pace for like 95 receptions.
Usually I average that completions in the season, so it's pretty impressive.
What the heck? Speaking of
Yeah,
averages, this rusher on KLOB there, Alex Valliere. Remember how we said last week he's on pace for 40? He got another 4 in his second game of the season. I think he slowed down a little bit in their other game, but not offensively. 3 for 93, a touchdown. You also had Jeremy with 3 touchdowns and Victor Davis with 2. Um, but against this Raccoons team, he had almost record-breaking stats: 11 for 212, 3 touchdowns to go along with a very below-average 2 sacks in the game.
so it's funny speaking to our boy Lucas Guerrero. I'll give him a shout out because he rushed well, and he's like, I'm I want to catch, the record for sacks. And he's like, how many was it? And I was like, well, it's a lot. And he checked, and I believe it was 27. He's like, oh yeah, like I'll do my best.
Let's look at the single game records.
Oh wow, look at that.
But
Little handsome guy right there.
passing 2 point conversion.
Wow, bro, look at that. Four, it's all outlaws. Bro, that's something.
Oh, he actually tied the record.
Oh
Damn
my
it, you couldn't
gosh.
get an extra yard.
Holy cow, that's crazy.
Our boy Gutowski.
That's nuts. That could be a record through all five divisions, all six.
Probably. Unless Marvin threw it himself a couple of years back in the lower divisions, probably broke it.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
true, true.
but it's crazy that he tied the record.
Wow.
Going back to the Villains game, I don't know if did you see any of this game?
I watched the entire game.
You watched?
Can you
Wait,
believe it?
which both of them or just one of them?
Just the Les Ronceurs, the villains.
How was it?
It was a really fun game. It kind of reminded me of like a 1980s game between the Bears and the Packers. Like it wasn't a defensive game, but it was a little bit chippy. Defense made some nice plays. Both quarterbacks played fairly well for the most part. This was a really fun game to watch.
I don't know
Yeah,
if it was from this week or the other week or from this game or the other game, but our boy Pat O'Reilly always posts those beautiful videos and photos, right? I saw me making like a sick catch. Did you see them live?
he actually missed the catch where he made against KOB, which was a 10 times sicker than the one in the photo.
He what?
He made a catch against KOB that where O'Reilly was not there filming the game, and it was Odell Beckham-esque. It was like a jump ball, and I think our boy DeChesney was playing defense for KOB, and it looked like it was going to be a pick, and he just did like three fingers back and reeled it in. It was like everyone went nuts. I
He
was
has a
playing.
busted finger, from what I'm told. Like I don't know if it's the busted fingers on that hand, but he's rehabbing an injury now with like a busted finger. He has to be the closest. Trying to think before I talk out of my butt again. He
I'll
has
just
to
say
be
he
the
looked pretty healthy for a guy that had a broken finger or a dislocated
like.
finger.
There's a lot of dominant players in the MFL, especially in Division One, but I think Jeremy Thompson O'Reilly has to be the closest thing to a highlight reel uh, player that we have in the league. Trying to think.
No,
Like,
I think that you get a like if you're getting a jersey when you're a 7-year-old watching MFL, you're like I want to be like him. You're getting a Wiley, you're maybe an Andrew like compared to Andrew like every time he touches the ball.
yeah, because Andrew has that blazing fast speed, and it's super impressive. Like you blink your eye, and he's behind you.
Yeah,
He also has the jukes. Like he's a complete player. I'm not saying he's just speedy. He obviously is a complete player, both sides of the ball, complete baller. But making guys miss one on one and making like Jeremy has the sickest 3 yard catch I've seen in my life. When he was throwing pocket rockets that season, and Pio was throwing him like these balls like a half a yard over the ground, and he was diving from like midfield to the sideline to make that catch. Like it was just 3 yards, and but it was super impressive. Like I'm just amazed by him.
and that's why I'm not too worried about this team going forward. They have the athletes. And yeah, like you say, he's a highlight reel waiting to happen. But this was a really fun game today. It was a bit chippy at times too, which
Oh
was
yeah,
yeah, it was kind of
ski
fun to
mask
see. What's that?
with the ski masks on.
Yeah, the ski mask on and all that good stuff. But I'll tell you, a player for Les Ronceurs made a crazy catch. It was 12-12. You go to the play or the scoring summary, it was 12-12. The touchdown that made it 18-12, I think it was Nico. Yeah, Nicolas Boucher made a sick
You know him?
you got Moss type catch over one of the villains defenders and this guy's good. He's going to be, one of the fun players to watch in Division One. He's not afraid to talk his talk, not afraid to walk his walk. Has I don't know if you saw his pants, but he plays with like the Grinch pajama pants, no pockets, and they're pretty sick.
Is he your
And
buddy?
what happened?
Is he your buddy?
Yeah, well, I guess we see. It's just we say hi. I know he's going to be one of the faces to watch in MFL. Fun guy and a fun player to watch on the field, and one of the better receivers on this team.
You call him Nico, and his name's Nicholas. I know you guys were on nickname basis.
That is true. I think his team is called Nico, and that's kind of why I said Nico. But yeah, I don't even know. So hopefully he's okay with that. But yeah, good game, a really fun game. Villains were marching on the field late. Les Ronceurs defense they bent but didn't break, and then it was I think it was Kyle Martel getting a pick at the goal line that sealed it for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say like back and forth game, very very close. I think Villains just had that one turnover too many. look, Will Bradford, I don't think ever played in Division Two in MFL. He's making the jump to Division One. So seeing the numbers he's been putting up so far, 200, over 200 yards, 20 of 34. Like you got to say he's doing well for himself, all things considered, right? It is a big jump playing Division One. Villains wanted the challenge, and they're dealing with it well so far. Like they're definitely going to get better as the season goes along. And this is a scary team. They have talented players across the board on both sides of the ball. But yeah,
Look, when you have the
cool.
O'Reilly brothers that are ballers on, like you said, offense and on defense, Will is just smooth with the ball. Maybe decision making in this game was a bit questionable at times, but like he's got a nice ball, comes out of a spiral. He's smooth sailing. He's able to beat rushers for the most part. So it'll be tough hill for them to climb because I think they're 0-3 now. But I think it's just a matter of time before they start finding their groove and win that first game.
And what a game Raccoons KLB. This is a classic MFL game. This is not a 12-6 game. This is a 47-46 game. It ended with KLB tying it up and getting that 1 point for the win at the end of the game. Did you see any of this?
I checked on my phone, and when it was on my phone, Raccoons had an 8 point lead, and I was like, "Damn, that's impressive." I checked when I got home after my shower, and I saw KLB won. If you
Good to
look
know
at the
you shower after the
play-by-play,
games.
yeah, I had to. It was a must, bro. I had 3 games. But if you look at the play-by-play,
Just one or two you would have debated.
yeah, if I had 1 or 2 games, okay, maybe I could slide, put a little deodorant. But 3 games is like your boy has to shower. But Melissa, if you look at the play-by-play, Raccoons punted in this game late in the
Oh, there
game.
was a punt in this game?
Yes, it was like 4th and 7, and they punted, and I grabbed my phone, and I was gonna throw it across the street when I saw that. Um,
Twice.
Twice,
Okay, they deserve to lose. They deserve
twice
to lose.
is 2 times too many in Division One. But
Wait,
especially,
were they expecting to get a stop in this game?
I think they were waiting to get a pick six. But look, my G, it was 40-32, and if you look at the yards, like it was a gain of 5, and then a gain of 3, a gain of 5, and then a sack, so that becomes
Third and eight, fourth and eight.
fourth
Yeah,
and 8.
yeah.
And if it's 4th and 28, you're going for Division One, and this was 4th and 8 late in the game. I guess their mindset is, look, they're gonna have to score. They're gonna have to score. KOB's gonna have to score, and on top of it, they're gonna have to get a 2 point convert. But you can't give the ball back to Plough just needing a score and a 2 point convert to tie.
Let's
That
just
was the
think of it.
mistake.
Let's just think of it like in the other way. Let's say like, okay, let's say you go for it. Worst that happens is you throw a pick six, right? Like that's the absolute worst that happens. Well, the benefit of that is that you get the ball back with the exact same amount of time, right? And
Exactly.
you're not losing, right?
And if you punt,
And then let's say that you throw a deep interception. Like that was like the quickest to get the ball back. Let's say you throw a deep interception and pin them down, like a punt return where KOB had a Marvin moment, and instead of dropping the ball, they caught it, okay? Uh, sorry, Marvin, but it's true.
hey, he won this past weekend. He's okay.
You what?
He won this past weekend. He's okay.
He won.
Well, against Iron Wolves.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean no. Anyway, so in that case, even if KLB milks the full 5 minutes driving down the field, at best for KLB or at worst for Raccoons, they tie the game up, right? So chances are Raccoons go for it. Like they don't get it. KLB scores. Raccoons could not mathematically be losing this game, and they'll get the ball back to either milk the clock or go up 2 possessions. If like when they decided to punt, what were they thinking? They were saying, "We'll stop them." Like I guess that's what they were thinking, right? We'll stop them.
It's more like let them drive the field and let them earn their TD because we think they have a better chance of scoring a TD if we give them the ball there, which is true. But like you said, they were deep in their own territory, 4th and 8. Let's say you throw an incompletion, KOB can't really milk 5 minutes off the clock.
No.
They score. It gives you a few minutes to score. It's rare I check the play-by-play, but I had to in such a close game, and I saw that, and and my eyes bulged. But it's not fair to just talk about that. But if you look at how clutch it was, KOB got the touch on the 2 points, and then our boy JF Delos got a pick the very next play.
But then Raccoons defense stepped up this time.
Exactly. And then okay, Raccoons are at worst. This game's gonna go to overtime for Raccoons, and KOB
Then
had
Raccoons
over.
scored here. I'd be curious to know if they went for 1 or 2. They score over here, and they probably think they have the game in the bag right with 40 seconds to go.
It's what a wild game. Like I saw this game and it looked like Raccoons had it just on like
This
watching
has
it.
to be the game of the year so far.
A 47-46. It doesn't get better than that, man.
And look, on both punts, it's Alex Valliere wreaking havoc. I think this is the game where he only had 2 sacks, but both sacks led to a punt. So like sometimes the things don't show up in the stat sheet. You're getting a sack on like first down and the team scores in the next play. Did your sack really mean anything? It just gave them more passing yards. You get a sack, you force him to punt. Like that's more like defensive player of the year, MVP type moments for the guy. But even here, they were like 2nd and 5. Then it became sorry, yeah, 2nd and 5. Then it became 3rd and 12.
4th and 8 again.
4th and 8. Yeah. But this punt was a smart one because Francois Rocha came up with the pick right after.
I still would have went for it and they would have scored a touchdown.
Oh
So
yeah, like I just think in Division One, there's no scenario where I'd punt. Like 4th and 20, you go for it because worst case you should get the ball back quicker.
it sounds a little ridiculous, and we sound like babies playing Madden when we say this. But I actually truly believe there's no scenario where you punt in Division One.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say you have the ball at your own 4 and you're up by 9. No,
No, if you're up 9, you go for it for sure.
okay, let's say you're at your own 4 and you're up by 8.
5. No, 5.
Yeah, let's say you're up by 5 with
Because
3 seconds.
you're up 8, you can't lose. Like you could just tie. Worst case.
Yeah, okay. So let's exactly because you're up by 5. There's 6 seconds left at your own 4. I'm still going for it.
No, I think that
No, you're going for
left
it.
at your own 4, up 5. You don't punt,
Well, get the first down. Trust your offense.
bro. Okay. In all seriousness,
I would. I'll seriously. I would debate.
okay. There's 2 plays left. There's 1 second on the clock. You're on your 1 yard line. It's
Wait.
fourth. It's 4th and 14. You're up 5.
Bro, we just go double quarterback and Chris launches that shit deep.
Okay, that's the one you're punting. We found the scenario where you'd punt in Div 1.
I debate.
So we covered 1, 3, 5. Yeah, we're talking a lot today. Eh?
Yeah, bro.
Women's.
Yep. Good call.
So again, one game this week. Didn't go too well for the free agents, but it did go well for Drama Queens. I gotta say, I'm a little bit sad not to see Roxane Roy at the quarterback position after her first season of playing quarterback last year. She did so well. She improved so much. But she's a baller anywhere she plays. 6 for 75, 1 touchdown. But I am very happy to see Isabelle Roy, a teammate of mine, playing quarterback, playing in the MFL. So happy for her. First game ever at the quarterback position. And 25 of 43, 259, 7 touchdowns. And what did we say last week? When it's your first game ever playing quarterback, you could score 27 touchdowns. But the stat that impresses me the most is that 0 interceptions. I don't care what division you're playing in, who you're playing against, to have thrown 0 interceptions in your first ever game when you're playing with new players. The ball could bounce off someone's head, knees, shoulders, and toes and get intercepted. That's what's most impressive to me. So, and as long as you keep that interception and turnover number low, you're always giving your team a chance to win the game. Also, getting 3 1-point converts. So it's going to be fun to follow this new identity Drama Queens team that brought in Isabelle Poirier, who's also well known for her defensive skills, being the defensive coordinator of a CJUP team, CJUP flag football team. But looking that she could do it on offense too. Rochelle getting 2 sacks on defense. Diana Jane, probably the MVP here with a pick and 3 touchdowns. I think was she player of the week? Yeah, she was the player of the week. It was probably very, very close between her and Isabelle Poirier, but the Gold's algorithm that calculates the player of the week prevailed for Diana Janes. Am I pronouncing that right?
Diana Jane's Landry. And it's funny, I've seen her play flag in the league we don't talk about, and she's a very good, well-rounded player. So this Drama Queens team is stacked. You got Roxanne, you got Kayla, you got Dan, you got our girl Barbara, and like you said, Isabel at the quarterback position, throwing 7 TDs. This is gonna be a team that's hard to beat. I mean, look, women's free agents, it's tough. You know, it's not a team that's played together. It may not be a team that puts up a bunch of points, but I think that Drama Queens. There's only 3 teams, but this Drama Queen team is really deep.
Yeah, and look, I think women's free agents. Well, first of all, you got to come up with a name. I heard rumors that you guys did choose on a name. Write to me. I'll let you know how you could change it yourselves. or I could change it for you. But you can just go into the captain, go into my profile, captain settings, and then change the name. Put a cute little logo up there because as much as we love the MFL logo, we want to see your true colors. But they did complete a lot more passing than they did in the first game, and they threw a lot fewer interceptions, I believe. So there is improvement there. I heard they were playing a lot of man on defense. Obviously, when it's a new team, new players, you want to try to mix in some zone. If you're not sure on the types of coverages or what to do, just write to us. We'll help out. I know there's a few guys watching their games that could also that have a lot of experience in the league that could help out. And look, this women's division is all about learning and getting better. So as long as we're having fun, that's what's most important.
100%. It's a week by week basis. We've seen a lot of these women teams get better as the weeks go on. And I think you said, like, as long as they're having fun, it's cool. You see, obviously, it's hard to tell from photos, but there always seems to be a genuine. It feels joyful when the women are playing against each other. And I think Crazy Bees and Drama Queens are going to fight till the end.
And Crazy Bees were once in a position where they had more than 78-9 points against through 2 games, and they're sitting atop the standings right now. So brighter days are ahead for you girls.
Good call.
What division you want to go to next?
Div 2.
Man, Phoenix are for real, eh?
No, I won't say it.
Say it.
Before the game, I was talking. I was like, Chris, you guys have a game in D2. He goes, yeah, but we're gonna get crushed. I was like, oh, really? Who are you guys playing? He goes, Double Dippers. I'm like, they're good, but you guys have a solid squad too. And then I saw the score.
Bro, Double Dippers are 2-1. This is literally their only loss.
No, Double Dippers are great, but Phoenix is also a good team.
I know, but just goes to show how like even better Phoenix are because Double Dippers won 2 close-ish games and Phoenix just destroyed them. Why is Chris so like negative?
I think it's a thing where it's like, like how can you say?
Expectations are low, so you can only like surpass them.
That's what it is. Like if someone says, "Oh, I have you go on a date and you say, oh, is the girl pretty?" You say 5 on 10, and you see her, she's a 9 on 10. It's like, wow, I'm like super happy.
Or like every time you finish an exam and someone asks how it went, you say, "I think I failed it."
Right, exactly.
Remember how annoying those kids were in school that they say, "I think I failed it," and they get like 90%?
No, the worst was like I did so bad, and I was like, "What'd you get?" 95, and I was like, "Bro, I was happy to get a 63."
Preach, eh?
Preach, bro.
Bro, does Chris have like a 90 completion percentage here? Like, what's going on with this guy?
It's funny because he doesn't seem to like the quarterback, but
I think he's quarterback D1 now. He always says he's not a D1 quarterback. I know he's D Hop and Deion Sanders on defense, but like he could quarterback in D1 too.
most definitely.
1 year,
And
192, 5-0. Like this is crazy. He's never played with these guys before. Like what the heck?
I think 100% he's great quarterback, receiver, and defensive guy that can do it all. But I think we need to talk more about Alec Gregoire than we've been talking
Oh
about.
yeah, definitely. But just before to end it on Chris,
Yeah, yeah,
I wonder if he finds it funny that he's quarterbacking in D2, but not for nice TDs.
that's true, eh?
Like I just went on his player profile here and look, it's like he's bleeding blue.
Yeah, he is. How I guess so. Kevin reached out to Chris to say, my arm's dead. Could you quarterback?
Your guess was as good as mine. Like I would have liked to be like to see how that conversation went down.
Wait a minute. You're telling me if Kevin was healthy, Kevin and Steve would have thrown in the same division?
That happened last season.
Wait, what?
That happened last season.
Oh, it's two Div 2.
Steve finished first, Kevin finished last, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then Steve ended up winning it all.
Yeah.
We're laughing, but Phoenix almost beat us in that game against Thunderbirds. I remember.
Yeah. They had crushed us in Division 3.
There you go.
Wait, that's not what I wanted to look at. Yeah, Alec Gregoire. Man's a baller.
A speedster. He you have some guys that are like only put up stats because they're fast, but he's fast and he put up stats because he has good hands, he has good route running. This is a guy that's going to be scouted for Div 1, so I don't think he's playing Div 1 right now.
Surprisingly, no.
Yeah, no, he's definitely good enough.
Yeah. So I wonder what I wonder what went wrong for Double Dippers here. Because this is like not that they go undefeated or they win all their games, but they rarely get blown out. Like even their losses are usually super tight.
What's funny because I was speaking to Mason Miller after the game, and he was like, "Your bold prediction was almost right." And I said, "What was it again?" He said, "Phoenix putting up 50." And I was like, "Wow, they put up 40 points. Was a close game." He's like, "No, they just blew us out. Like it was one of the games where everything was working for Phoenix, nothing really seemed to be working for Double Dippers. He saw had an uncharacteristic game of three interceptions. I, I don't want to read too much into this game, but I like. Okay, if I were to ask you, is this more sign to panic for Double Dippers, or is this like a better sign for Phoenix in the sense that like this team may be better than we thought? What does it say more? Which team does it say more
Much
about?
better the latter about Phoenix.
I'd agree. I think I'd agree.
Um, Double Dippers are still 2-1. They won a tight game. They won a not so tight game. They beat Rejects and Rossos, who are good teams in Division Two. Um, so I'm not worried about them. You just have one of those games where you suck, right? And like everything goes wrong. Like you saw it when it rains, it pours, right? So I'm not too worried about Double Dippers. I'm more pleasantly surprised for Phoenix, and I feel that we're going to be pleasantly surprised for them for a while going forward, and it's not going to sink in that Phoenix are actually a good team in this division. Look, Double Dippers have Ducks and CIA coming up next, right? I'd be surprised if they don't go 2-0 there. Not say they'll be easy wins, but they should definitely win those two games. Um, where was I going with this? Mason.
Like just that Phoenix is a powerhouse in this
Yeah.
division.
What would you say?
I'd say it says more about Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think it's like this team is deep, right? You have another D1 player in Josh. You have Chris on the same team there. This is a hard defense to throw against.
Jeff Laurence doesn't stop balling out either. We don't mention his name enough in these higher divisions, right?
True, true.
Look, they have a tough task against Nice CDs. Chris playing against his former team, that's going to be a good one that you'd want to miss. But look, JF, 2 touchdowns through 2 games and 2 picks through 2 games. You look at his season stats last year in Division Two, and we didn't talk about him enough. He was really like a low key. I don't know how come he's low key baller. Like Phoenix was a pretty bad season, right? 3-7, but JF was one of their bright spots. 13 touchdowns, over 500 yards. That's elite stats, receiving stats, and then 7 picks through 10 games. That's elite defensive stats. Like baller both ways of the ball, and we're definitely not talking about him enough. Starting off the season like just where he left off, right? With a new quarterback, no problem. Even though this team has guys like Allegre Wall, like we spoke about, Josh Levine was a Division One stud. GF is making room for him, for himself on this team and on both sides of the ball.
And look at the 7 picks is impressive, but 8 PDs too. Like I remember playing against him with Thunder, but he flies on defense. Like he's got
Yeah,
that power shoot ready and that cape ready. Yeah, no, he's got
when you,
length and he's got
when
range.
you played with him that first season in Brassard, when we had like Brassard Div 2
Oh my
make
gosh.
like a make believe team and all that, and then
Yeah.
he was really like we didn't know him that well yet. Like we don't have the relationship we have now, obviously, but like he wanted to really play corner or like safety, right? And like we're calling defense. We don't know like anyone on the team. We're like, you go there, and he's like, no, I want to play like deep. And we're like, okay, you go play deep. Don't worry about it. But like in our heads, we're like, why does he want to play deep so badly? Clearly, he knew something we did not know at that time, and we should have had him deep the whole time.
Big time.
He should have been telling you what to do.
Why? Yeah, 1,000%. On both sides of the ball. And like I think maybe we talk about him more as a quarterback now, right? Because he's quarterbacking 2 teams, I believe. So that's maybe sometimes why we kind of overlook at him. But he's kind of that silent killer, right? The guy that
Oh
you
yeah,
see this team and you want okay, let's prepare for Levine, let's prepare for Grégoire. But JF is good enough to be wide receiver 1 on this team any given day.
yeah. Talking about this game,
Well, yeah, there was a good game. Fins up nice TDs.
back and
Um,
forth.
Yeah, back and forth, and it's funny. I feel like it wasn't the cleanest game for both teams, and it was still a good game nonetheless. Andrew, honestly, doing it. It's incredible the Guillaume and Andrew connection. Like they make the 45 bomb look like it's a 3-yard hook, and it just the Guillaume hits him in stride. Andrew flies into the ball. Damien Bala, another deep threat. I think that's what this team was missing. With Andrew being that deep threat, but now they have another guy with Bala being that deep threat as well. So it's kind of 2 guys you got to prepare for, getting 5 catches, 62 yards in this game. Steve played well at 34 of 44, at 285 TDs, one pick. Guillaume with the four touchdowns. It was it was a back and forth game. And at one point in the game, we kind of felt we were going to lose. Our D picked it up. I think it was tied in the second half, and our D made a critical stop. But this is a good game. Big plays being made when it mattered the most. And tough for nice CDs because I still believe they're one of the best teams in Div 2, but they start the season off 0-2.
Any punts?
No, no, I don't think we do that.
No,
What
no,
did we?
Guillaume.
We definitely didn't punt. I don't think Guillaume punted either. No, because there was. I don't think Guillaume did. Guillaume throw a pick? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think it was just turnover on downs.
Uh,
Yes, he threw the only pick.
looking at the play-by-play, man, and Fins Up really managed the clock really, really, really well here. Not only did they start with the ball in the first half, but they also got the ball last in the first half, and scored and got the 2 point. That's huge, right? Because like you think in terms of equal possessions, you gotta the opposing team ends with the ball if you start with the ball, right? And here Fins Up had one extra possession in that first half. They win the game by one possession. Um, Really managed the clock well at the end of the game too, with 5 minutes left, milking it all to giving Guillaume the ball back with just 6 seconds to go. Still got up past midfield, pretty good. Um, but yeah.
This nice CD team is deep, right? Okay, you talk
Oh
about
yeah,
Andrew.
yeah. They could go eight
Uh,
and two.
yeah, they could. They could. Joshua Hernandez. He played for Tigres, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a underrated defensive guy. So is Adam in this team. They're aggressive defenders. So um, I don't want to say it's a must win, but it almost becomes a must win this week against Phoenix.
Would you be surprised if they go 0-3? Because like they're probably slight favorites against Phoenix, but like Phoenix are. I mean, it's actually a little disrespectful for me to say that because Phoenix are like at top of the standings at 2-0, and Nice Leads are 0-2, and I'm calling Nice Leads the favorites here.
It's
It's kind of
crazy, eh? Well, like I think you have a point. Like I think on paper, with the household names ICD has, they may have the better team on paper.
like my preseason finals prediction was Fins up Nice Leads. So,
Hmm.
and I'm still sticking to it. But Phoenix will make some noise. Average Joe's Rossa. It's funny. I was speaking with someone over the weekend, and remember when Jason started throwing for that team that had the Bulldogs logo? Were they called underdogs? I'm not sure, but he would throw like more interceptions than touchdowns. But it's crazy how, for the past while now, he's consistently putting up 30, 40 points a game. Like, like I don't think like I'd be shocked when he puts up in the 20s, even if it's high 20s. No matter the roster he has, and like he lost like Avery on the he had Avery on this team last year, and he's not there anymore. Like probably one of the better Division 1 players in the league, and he still put up 44 points this week against Rossa. So I have a very good and deep team. Yvan Desjardins, Gab Boucher were there, Antoine Theroux, a bunch of ballers on this Rossa team. Very surprising and disappointing they lost by this margin. But you look at Jason, no picks in this game, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 230 yards, 27 to 36. Like he transformed into an elite passer like overnight. Like literally, he was always high scoring offensive player, but now he's cleaning up the little mess he would leave behind. And it's crazy how he's like we would make fun of like his teams earlier on and like his inefficiencies and all that, but like it's been a lot of seasons that I don't think we give him the respect he deserves. I mean, we do give him the respect he deserves, but like on a more consistent basis because 44 points. I think like last week he put up a. Did he play last week?
I think it was like 35 plus, like
Yeah,
38.
39,
Yeah,
44. Like this is ridiculous. Like 40 points a game averaging. Like it's crazy how like 12-1 touchdown interception ratio. Like he's an elite passer, and he was doing it in Division 3 earlier. And like, okay, it's Division 3. He comes up to Division 2. He's still balling out in Division 2 now. Like and Division 2 is like the big boys. It's pretty much like almost Division 1B right now. So maybe you see him in Division 1 sometime soon. Look, he definitely has the roster to do it. If he gets one or two pieces, this team could play Division 1 probably in the fall if they wanted to. But nothing really average about Jason's play as of late.
Most definitely not. And he this is a guy what I love about Jason. He's a quarterback that trusts his receivers, right? If
Oh
there's a
yeah,
one-on-one matchup, he's gonna go and he's gonna toss the ball up 35 yards and you say, I trust my guy over your defender. And it used to be a lot of that, and the ball placement wasn't there, but now he's doing that with perfect ball placement. His deep ball's getting better. And he's just a vocal leader on this team. Like it was he threw a touchdown to Gordon in this game, Billings, and you could hear it from Nana G's place on King Edward. He was just yelling and screaming, and like that's kind of what this team needs and what they have actually too. They weren't. I don't think Jason Edwards played in their first game. He was there in this game, getting 3 TDs. Good to see him back in the MFL. But I think everything you said about Jason, I would echo. Getting better consistently, and it's a lot more. Not let me just throw it up and see what happens. It's let me throw it up to one of my better players because his team is stacked. And I'm gonna throw it on the line, and the
yeah.
ball's getting there, and his players are making plays. Right, look at this roster. This is a very good roster for Division Two, and also another tough defense to throw against. Right, only giving up 19 points to Rosas, 2 picks for Jeff in this game. A great start to average Joe's 2-0 and putting up a lot of points.
And great ball distribution too. Obviously, Devin probably the snapper here, getting a few more catches there. Jason, the Jason to Jason connection is the go-to here, but like a good ball distribution all around. And Average Joe's another juggernaut of this division. Now, looking at Rosas, they gotta pick their shit up and maybe drink a few more beers at the field and get their shit together, right?
Yeah, I'm just about ready to wave the white flag on Rosas. I've said they're an up and down team. They're here, they're there. They have games where they look like they're a D1 team, better than the Outlaws in the Dynasty. They look like they should be playing D5. I don't know. Look, the game against Double Dippers, it was Saplitsky throwing. I still don't give them too much of an out because they still have the team to put up a fight in that game. And Saplitsky's a decent quarterback, but um, I don't expect them to be nice CDs this week on in 2 weeks from now. But if they want to get back in my good books, they better.
Playing against Fins up the week after, so it's not going to be easy ones. Actually, they have a bye week this week to kind of like, you know, get more drunk and come back in force.
So hey, maybe that's what they need.
So Phoenix Night is definitely the game of the week coming up. Um,
Impressive by your rejects giving up 0 points. We won't talk too much about that, but whenever you see a donut, that's pretty impressive.
yeah, Division Four.
Let's go.
Thibaut Varin, player of the week in the loss, but there were quite a few impressive stats in this game, but also others. Obviously, this was like the week one for Les Bouchers, right? So a little bit of a rust they needed to shake off. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that. Yeah, and this isn't a team that usually plays in the fall, right? And it's not a team that plays in the winter either. So Lucas was literally throwing for the first time since last finals where he played against Tropic Thunder in that spring finals where Rob White was the MVP. So it's safe to say a little bit of rust he needed to clean off, right? Um,
You can't
and
make much about week one. It was week one for first games for each team, right? That's almost a year he didn't throw.
yeah, but a good win by Beerhood here, getting their stuff together. Marc-Antoine Lheureux Paré, 5 for $101, 3 touchdowns, 1 1 point convert. Clearly the MVP of this game here. 3 picks by 2 different defenders on the defensive side of the ball. But I also wanted to shout out Jocelyn Wallet on Creaky 24-31, 253, 6 touchdowns, no picks. Clean, great game here. Good ball, like amazing ball distribution, if you ask me. Alex Elabor, 10 tackles on defense. Paul Barreau, 2 picks, a sack. Um, Look, also a shout out on the loss to Vincent Martel, 4 for $108, 2 touchdowns. But this Creaky team is going to be a good team this season.
They won like the week one. I don't think Jocelyn played for them, and you could tell how important he is to this team. And this game putting up 47 points. Their first game only putting up 12 in their loss to A squad. So he's a vocal leader on this team, and the leader at the quarterback position. And he's getting better. I think it's safe to say he's one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in Division Four.
Yeah, clearly. We had an overtime game. Did you see any of the D4 games?
Okay, wait. I did not, but I believe this game was at LeBert, and Matt was filming the overtime, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you do watch Matt's lives.
When I'm literally, yeah, I do. But wait, Gislaine Duke, that was Quentin's dad.
Yeah.
Nice.
Surprising he didn't throw all 17 completions to Quinton.
That is pretty impressive. Yeah, and the over under was 9.5 in catches. I would have taken over.
Yeah, 19 and a half I would have taken over. Well, maybe not because he wouldn't have completed that many passes, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
Not an offensive performance that you'd like for either team. 4 picks for Matt, 3 for Gislain. Obviously, Quinton getting 3 of them on defense, but lots to clean up by these two teams. I'm not worried for either of the team. They both got ballers on both sides of the ball, so yeah. Nothing but D, Mustard Tigers. We spoke about nothing but D quite a bit last week. We were really, really high on them after their week 1 dominant performance against, was it Les Lavars? Yeah, against Les Lavars. Didn't really meet expectations this game. I think I had nothing but D winning in a close one. Um, I believe my bold prediction came from this game. Do you remember what it was?
I think you said that there'd be touchdowns thrown, which is not that bold.
Yeah, no. Anyway, I'll go back to listen. But I'm not worried about nothing but D. Yeah, it felt more one-sided 'cause I remember looking at one point and it was 20-7. They get that late touchdown to kind of show as if it was a close game, but in reality, it might not have been. But Mustard Tigers, good start of the season, right? Um, it was their first game. They got underdogs next week, and nothing but D has Spartan, so it's going to be a hard, tough battle.
And this is Mustard Tigers without Tom Zanoge, right? So it's gonna be
Well, he's
cool.
there. Was he there today? That day?
I spoke to Tyler, and I don't think his dad's gonna be playing with them. I mean, he may sub here and there, but it doesn't look like he's gonna be on the roster this year for 5 games.
Oh, how come?
Not sure. Maybe Tyler's gonna more reason for Tyler to shine at the wide receiver.
Probably. Did we cover all the divisions?
Feels like we didn't, but I think we did.
Did we speak about Division 5?
Wait,
Yes.
let's see. We did one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did well.
All
That's
right,
pretty.
nice. Bold predictions?
Let's go.
You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. You tell me division.
Okay. 3.
Alrighty, Div 3. We should have quite a few games this week, right? Oh, damn. Yeah, for reals. 17th, 10. No one's at La Bear this week, eh?
No, no LeBear till the first week of June.
Holy. Okay.
But we'll all be at LeBear together.
Okay, at least.
One big happy family.
Right? That's what we need more of. Okay, witching hour. Okay, I'm looking at that game 4:30 de la Vendredi. Is it actually we're gonna play that this week?
As of now, yes.
Okay. 4:30 matchup, Witching Hour Iron Trollers, another matchup with teams with no logos. Like we said, get that fixed. So Witching Hour did not put up a lot of points in their first game, and neither did Iron Trollers against Team University. I say both quarterbacks in this game will throw more touchdowns than incompletions. I'll repeat that. Both quarterbacks. John Evans with the Mohawk, and our buddy from Witching Hour who just won a Div 4 championship
You know
will
what his
throw.
name is?
Sorry, Terry?
You know what his name is?
Yeah, I do, but he will throw for
What's his name?
more. What?
My bold prediction is that you don't know what his name is.
Well, that'd be very true and bold. I'm gonna go Witching Hour and Iron Trollers have more touchdown passes than incompletions in this game combined for each quarterback.
It's Mathieu Tessier. He
That's
was
just
also
exactly
the game's
what I was gonna say.
MVP.
Yep, and MVP of the finals.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
Okay, what division do you want me to go to? We
One.
said more touchdowns than.
Then incompletions.
Okay.
Yeah, they've won.
That's the one I was thinking of doing.
Yeah, great minds think alike.
Or what is it? Buffoons never defer. What is the other one?
Is the opposite of that?
No, there's a. What is it? Great minds think alike, but fools rarely defer.
Oh, that's a good one. Never heard of that. We'll go with the latter, actually.
So the fools never defer.
Yeah, I mean we're not the brightest, bro.
You know, a cool trick to remember former and latter, like which one comes first, which one comes last, and all that stuff. Like they say like I'll go with the latter, and then you think like which one was the latter. Do you know? You want to hear a cool trick? Because
Sure.
I always used to get mixed up, but once I thought of this trick, I always use the word former or latter now to sound smart because I'm not that smart, but like I find it you sound more sophisticated, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So former starts with an F, like first. Latter starts with an L, like last. You'll never forget
That
it
is
now.
wow. That's I'll never
It's a
make that
solid
mistake
one.
again.
Solid one.
That
Well,
is pretty
you
good.
used to make the mistake. I'm shocked.
No, I would never make the mistake. But you know how you count?
In
It reminds
journalism, they taught you
Yeah, they did. Luckily, that was journalism 101. But you know how you know how many days there are in each month?
your knuckle thing.
But yeah, good call. Okay, I thought it was there was a low percentage of people that knew that. But my buddy told me that years ago, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Obviously, that's not true. And then it was
Yeah,
true.
the guy actually looked at his knuckles and he created the days in the month.
That's actually mad respect.
But there's no trick for February when you do that. The knuckle trick is to know which months have 31 days.
You just know it doesn't have 31.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
not
true,
foolproof.
true.
But yeah, you never made mistakes for a former and ladder, so why'd you say you need the trick now?
No, I had a trick, but it was more like ladder was like last, right? So that's kind of how I remembered it.
What do you mean? Because you say former or ladder?
Yeah, like ladder is the last one, like the one you
Mhm.
had just said last.
Yeah, like I remember when I was reading articles or stuff like that. Obviously not Kevin's because he doesn't use those words, but you go down the article and they talk about they're naming things. They say, "Oh yeah, the ladder," and then I have to like think, okay, wait, which one did they mean? But now I know.
Dang it, I mean, we never make that mistake again. We'll sound smart.
Did you read the ChatGPT article?
Bro, I was reading. It was like too good. It's robotic. Like it's too much.
You
Bro,
prefer Kevin's old
I
articles?
prefer Kevin's articles when he struggles to spell every third word. I want those back. No more ChatGPT saying knuckleheads and I be with bid thee do and these words that we've never heard of. It's like, Brian, ain't nobody got time for that. It's like I was reading
Uh,
Shakespeare.
yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So my bold prediction.
Mm.
Idaho week like first game. It's week 3, but it's their week 1. They're playing against the Villains, who need a much needed win. It's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be a shootout. Both teams score 50 points,
Damn.
and the game is won on a pick six.
I
So,
was just I was just gonna ask good offense or bad defense, but I guess a bit of
well,
both.
yeah, like there's no such thing as defense Division 1. It's mostly just offense. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a tie game. Villains are gonna have the ball marching downfield for the win, and they're gonna throw a pick six.
Idaho starts 1-0.
Yeah, and Villains dig themselves in a deeper hole.
Crazy to say that it's week 3 and it becomes must-win scenarios for some of the 5 teams make the playoffs in this div.
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice.
That's 2 more than last year. That's almost as
That's
many
true.
teams as both seasons last year.
Yeah, if we had 5 teams make it last year, everyone would have made it.
I think that's all for today, folks. Let us know what you think. Remember, I appreciate comments and be nice out on the field. You don't know what people are dealing with or going through at home. People play flag football to kind of like forget about all that. So that's what the MFL is all about. Be nice, have fun, try not to get injured, and yeah,
Big happy family, like you said, it was really good to see the support crew and got when he went down and that just take a picture of that and that was what the MFL is all about.
yeah. The picture of you like far away doing nothing, right?
No, I was telling the paramedics, do this, do that, place him this way, and they nodded, and that was about it.
Did they give you a medal for saving his life?
I had no clue what I was doing, bro.
All right. Any comments, questions? Let us know. We still have spots available for a few individual players, even maybe a small group of 2 to 3 players in all leagues: Montreal, Laval, Brossard. Let us know. If not, I should be there Saturday, so I'll see you guys at the field. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you for tuning in, folks. See you Saturday.